and the headline said, Scottie Scheffler arrested at Valhalla at site of fatal car crash. And I was like, holy, and I couldn't collect myself.
Fore players by Barstool Sports. This is the 2024 PGA Championship recap. What a major championship that was. I was thinking back all the way to one of the first thing I wrote down in my notes for the entire week was how crazy it was that Scottie Scheffler holed out his first shot of the approach shot of the tournament. And boy, oh boy, does that feel like the least important thing that's ever happened in the history of golf.
Yeah, it was an unforgettable week, not necessarily for all the on the course reasons. Friday was I think the second craziest day that I've experienced working in golf media. The first being Tiger's car crash. Actually, I don't know. Between Tiger's car crash, the framework agreement, and what happened on Friday, it's hard to rank those three. But it was a great finish, and I think this is something that we're going to get into. Is like, what are you guys laughing at?
No, it was a great finish, but I was the Scottie thing is hard to get past.
So should we just start with that?
I think we should probably start with that, just because it's one of the biggest stories that has ever happened in sports, it feels like.
Ever.
And ever. Like, the guy that everybody's been talking about, we've been talking about this guy for a year and a half now, how he is basically the reincarnation of Tiger Woods in certain ways. And then he gets arrested outside of a golf course during a major championship week. Really just something you couldn't predict it, obviously. I woke up an hour into it all happening. I had 150 text messages. A lot of them were from you guys, and we were going back and forth about t-shirts and, well, first of all, what the hell is even going on? I woke up genuinely, and I know it's a tragedy and it's a horrible thing that happened, but when I woke up in that fog, I thought Scottie Scheffler had killed somebody, because you get the information so fast and you're reading it. All right, he's in an orange jumpsuit. Why? Somebody was unfortunately killed outside of Valhalla. Then why is Scottie Scheffler in an orange jumpsuit? So I'm trying to put all these things together. And Riggs, I know you were in a similar position because you're in Arizona where it's 5:30 in the morning when all this is happening. I woke up at a relatively normal time, and I felt like I woke up on Mars.
Yeah, I had the pretty similar relationship to it, Trent, where like if I go back to the first 5 seconds of me introducing myself to what turned out to be one of the craziest events in the history of sports, and especially golf, and we cover golf, it was, I checked my phone at 5:42 in the morning to take a piss. I wasn't even going to fully get up. I was going to do another hour of sleep. Just checked my phone, and I saw a million text messages. What happened to Scottie? And I was like, Scottie must have withdrawn. Open up Twitter. He's already in an orange jumpsuit, and it says assault. And I'm like, Scottie Scheffler, domestic assault? He couldn't handle the child? Like, that was my first relationship to the whole thing, was like, what in the fuck is going on? And then luckily, because I was like an hour and a half after it had occurred, I was able to pretty quickly come to the conclusion of free Scottie. This seems like a giant miscommunication. But those first couple minutes where my brain went was, this guy was living a lie. This guy is a problem child. We knew he was maybe too good. Oh my God, it was Scottie Scheffler, Friday of a major. It was just fucking crazy, man. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was beyond crazy. And I think of the 156 players in the field this week, he is the 156th guy that you would think would ever get into a situation with a police officer. He is so soft-spoken, just had a baby, very religious guy. He's playing the best golf since Tiger Woods. He has no reason to put himself in any sort of crazy situation. When I got the text first, I thought it was one of those links to the guy with the huge dick. I thought it was just going to be a complete spam thing, because there was just no way that it was possible that this happened.
I died by that.
I think the only people that it would have been as big a story is Tiger and Rory. So it's crazy that it happened, and it's crazy who it happened to. The odds of that are just insane. There was 88 players who had to get to the golf course that morning and navigate through that terrible situation. And Scottie, the number one player in the world, was the one who got arrested. And also what Trent said about the accident, it's two separate incidents. And I saw a lot of people on their high horse being like, oh, why is nobody talking about the person? It's it's a horrible tragedy what happened to that person.
Yeah.
It's terrible. But that's kind of the end of it, right? The Scottie thing, I don't know. People were just kind of like getting mad at people for making a story out of it or making jokes about it. But I think in the end of the day, it's going to do good things for Scottie's reputation. Like, I think he's no longer boring, and this gives him some street cred.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fucking wild wake up, man. I woke up at like 6:45 in the morning because our guy, I'm going to shout out Kyle Timms, who is one of our producers. And he was texting so much that I actually looked over at my phone and I said, what the fuck is Kyle Timms texting my phone about at 6 o'clock? I was ready to call Brennan and be like, we got to get rid of this guy. Like when I saw Kyle Timms and Fore next to it at 6:30, I almost lost my mind. I opened it up. And the first headline I read was a video from, was it Jeff Darlington that got this thing? Jeff
Who was
Darlington,
in the right spot. Crazy.
I got a video from, so it was a video of Scottie Scheffler getting brought into a police car with his hands behind his head, with his hands behind his back. And the headline said, Scottie Scheffler arrested at Valhalla at site of fatal car crash. And I was like, holy fuck. I literally said to my wife, I said, Scottie killed somebody. You know what I mean? It's 3 in the morning. And I jumped up out of bed and I said, Scottie Scheffler just killed somebody. And I couldn't collect myself. I really couldn't. See, like, and I see what you're saying, Dan, where it's like someone did die at the end of this. Like you say jokes to yourself and you're like, it's insane. What if he would have killed someone? Like someone did kill somebody, which is a very harsh reality of this entire situation where it's like, somebody is like maybe going to jail, like for you know what I mean? Like something was bad, something happened, and this is not the end of it in that sense. But I see what you're saying, where it's like, unfortunately, there is no next story for the person that fucking passed away. Like Scottie now has to like evade like jail time now, and like it's like who knows what the hell's gonna happen. He's gonna go back. They say that they're gonna drop all the charges, but just a crazy fucking situation. Obviously, our hearts go out to that whole entire family. I can't even imagine. I've read so many stories about this man that was struck and killed by a fucking shuttle bus just going into volunteers time as a security guard. Imagine that, like your grandfather's going into work at Valhalla at the PGA Championship, and he just gets like murdered outside the entrance of the PGA Championship, going to volunteer his work. The guy's retired, put in his work for his entire life, and he's going to a golf course at 5 o'clock in the morning, putting in the time. Just fucking out of control. I just cannot believe that golf this just keeps happening to golf. Something every week is like, how is this sport leading the news every single week? This episode is presented by Chevy. With golf season in full swing, Chevy wants to help you make the most out of every drive, and the all-electric Blazer EV's bold design and dynamic performance make it the perfect electric vehicle to get you to the course in style and comfort. I actually saw a Blazer EV drive right by me on the Long Island Expressway the other day, and it took my breath away. I said, holy shit, I just saw one. Like it was just glistening in the sun. It's a beautiful piece of technology, and you could just tell with that infotainment on the inside. I could see it just beaming through the side windows. I was very jealous, Trent.
Yeah, they're incredible machines. You're going to start seeing them all over the place. This thing won all of the awards, every award that's out there. The Blazer EV won it. This is the future. Yep. This is where vehicles are going. So yeah, you're going to see them blow by you on the Long Island Expressway, and that's just the way that's going to be.
I actually saw there was a video on Twitter that said it showed the 5 most congested roads in America, and it showed the average speed. Did you see this?
No.
So it was really cool. Like the way that they edited it was like it showed the map and then it would zoom in on the road and come back out. But there was a couple in one in California, one in Texas, 2 in Chicago, and then boom, number 1 with an average speed I think of 16 miles per hour is a Long Island Expressway from like the Midtown Tunnel to the end of Queens.
Yep.
That little section right there, man. It's just that's something. And you know what? Like when you are in an electric car, you're not gas guzzling. You're not sitting there just losing all that gas. These EVs are the way to go. You got 324 miles of range on a full charge. So you'll never, ever have a issue. You mentioned this before, but they were named Motor Trend's 2024 SUV of the year. And they judge big, small, gas, hybrid, electric vehicles, luxury SUVs. Blazer EV beat them all, and won that award, which is prestigious and incredible. So head over to Chevy.com/Blazer EV to check out lease offers and amazing deals. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
getting in here was a disaster. Like, you had to park, I don't know, 20 miles away, and there was
Well,
one
here's the
road
craziest
in
thing,
and one
Dan.
road out.
So, like, if you know, so a lot of these events are you get dropped off on the perimeter. No matter what access you have, you're getting dropped off on some sort of the perimeter of the property, whether you have the number one pass or something else, right? There's some sort of perimeter access.
Only the players get to drive right up.
Yeah, and even then, they're like, most clubhouses are on the perimeter of the golf course as well. So they'll pull into a little parking lot. They'll go to that circle by the bag drop like you would at any golf course, any clubhouse, and they get to go right into there. But like media and like VIPs or whatever, you're parking in some sort of, whether it's a far lot or a close lot, you're not going within the golf course. At Valhalla, and I'm not saying this is where it happened because I actually don't know exactly where it happened, but we noticed the media shuttle was driving through the golf course, almost like on a cart path that would go down the 18th fairway, and it went right past the 10th tee and the first tee in the driving range. Dude, on the way out on Wednesday, we like waited for Tiger Woods to walk across the road to get to like the driving range, like to go, like that's how crazy this shuttle is flying through these things. So I'm not saying that like there was like a problem with the way that it was set up. Like, I don't know what the actual logistics are. Did it come down to that's why it happened? I don't know. But I do know that driving in all 3 days that we were there, we knew something with like, this is not good. Like, there was 80,000 people around us, and this lady that was driving, and she was going crazy. It was a wild scene, man. There was a lot of people there. I can't imagine the hectic scene at 5, 6 in the morning.
Well, the rain, right? Like, I know we've all been a part of like a dark, foggy-ish morning, even if it's not actually foggy, like you're tired, nobody's fully awake yet, it's dark, it's raining, so it's extra chaotic, all that shit going on in a place that was already chaotic. That scene, I can't even imagine how bad it was. I mean, you can, because Willie Z and a bunch of those guys were talking about how they walked for like a couple hours to get in, so it was indeed a complete shit show. And you're right, the whole undertones of all of the Twitter jokes, which I thought were about as good as golf Twitter's ever been. The undertones of all that were that like the reason all this happened was because someone was run over by a shuttle bus, which is absolutely horrific. And it did, it's like everyone's so feeling so sympathetic towards Scottie, who now has had his golf round a little bit thrown off because of what happened, but in reality, someone lost their life because of what has happened. So all of that was going on too, which made the whole thing, crazier, darker, even while it was, people were trying to make jokes, and they're bringing in, Tiger and Trent Ryan and John Daly and all these folks who have been in an orange jumpsuit that are related to the golf world as well. So all that stuff going on while they're also then rushing him back to the golf course. And now there's like this anxiety involved to the entire story, because you're like, is this guy going to make it back for his tee time? And they're going through the rules of like, there could be an exception made. The tee times got pushed back. People were like, did they push all the tee size back just because of Scottie? No, they pushed it back because of the delay, but all that was going on. And it just transcended the world of golf. And I don't know, with him being the number one player in the world, guy hadn't played since the RBC Heritage, who had shot whatever it was 4 under the day before and put himself right there. It was like all of that going on with him. And if this had happened to Russell Henley, it would have been a crazy story. Like, it would have been a crazy story. This guy on the way to the fucking major championship who's playing decently well got arrested. That's fucking nuts. It happened to Scottie fucking Scheffler. Like, the guy who legitimately people were concerned a little bit, if you're a golf historian at the beginning of the year, they're like, he's going to win the Grand Slam. And here he is throughout the whole deal. So, yeah, I don't know that we'll ever have a day like that again in the history of golf. It was surreal, man.
And not once did he mention that he was Scottie Scheffler. Such a nice guy, just never even said, I know you guys are hauling me off to jail right now, but just for the record, I'm Scottie Scheffler. I'm glad he didn't, because nobody likes when the guy does like, you don't know who my dad is or whatever, you know who I am. So it was nice, but maybe just once, if he could have just been like, I'm Scottie Scheffler, this is going to be the biggest story in the history of the Louisville Police Department if this happens. But he didn't say anything, and he just got hauled off right to jail. It seemed okay. Like, being in jail was like, I stretched out a little bit before my round. Everyone was really nice.
They got ESPN
so bad.
in jail in Louisville, apparently. The guy was watching ESPN while he was in jail.
Yeah, he's like, man, I'm then I'm doing math about, can I make my tee time? He seemed very, very chill about the whole jail thing, and it sounds like they're going to drop all the charges, so it's not going to be that big of a deal.
Well, no, I was talking to my buddies who are who are all police officers up here in New York, and I was just asking, like, what is that process like? Like how, from the little details we have, like, how would you have handled this if this had happened to you? And like they're trying to piece together, like, what did this police officer do? And clearly Scottie went around traffic and tried to like figure out what was going on. Because to his knowledge, I don't think Scottie Scheffler knew that there had been an accident and someone had been killed. Right? Like, to his knowledge, there's just insane traffic ahead of him, and he's like, I need to get to the golf course. Obviously there are driving like rules and regulations, and there's laws of the road, but like I need to get there. Like, if I miss this tee time, I don't think they're going to accept like I was in traffic, right? Like, they don't know what's going on at that point in the morning. So he's going around. Now, when my friend said, like, they're all saying, like, essentially, if this guy's coming into an area and clearly they're roping it off, it's a very serious area. Someone's been killed. So they're trying to not let anyone through there, right? They're going to be doing investigations. They're going to be doing all of this stuff for the remainder of those next couple hours. You're not letting anyone drive through because you have all these people walking around the pitch black now. You have all these police officers, detectives, everyone's walking around this area. You're not going to have cars flying through. If one guy said, stop Scottie, right? Like, hey, like, and you put your hand in front and Scottie kind of just like ignores it or looks up, like maybe you give him like a little pound on the window, be like, hey, you can't go through there. You're not going to like drag yourself on this guy's car, right? Like, you're going to kind of see what's happening. And maybe you radio to the next guy being like, hey, we've got this car coming through. Just give him a stop. Don't let him go through the next area, right? Like, I don't think, and maybe we'll find out more information, but was Scottie like running through like driving through barricades? Like, they had the chain links on the floors and they were trying to pop his tires. Like, or was he going like relatively slow, being like, I just like don't know who you are. I'm just going to keep going. Like,
so I owe you one here, Frankie, because a police officer came up to me, approached me, unsolicited. I guess you had like taken a picture with him, and he was like, "Oh," so that was the connection, I guess. But he comes up to me, he was like, "I'm a big fan." He goes, "Do you have the scoop?" And I go, "No, I'd love to get it." So he comes up to me and he says, "There was a group of us who were assigned to work this tournament because we're golf fans, and we know what golf tournaments are." There's a police officer saying this, and we know, courtesy cars, and we know the players, and we just kind of know how it works. Once this accident happened, they radioed in all of these different police officers who weren't supposed to be working the tournament. So this police officer probably, was like a traffic cop, the guy said, or whatever, is like handing out traffic tickets, and all of a sudden gets called into this event, and he doesn't really have the instructions that the other guys have. And he was saying that once the news went public, the group chats were going crazy. Like, the group chats between the officers who were working the tournament, they were like, "No, we did not. We locked up Scottie Scheffler. No, fuck. We locked up Scottie. No, can't be. It had to be someone who looked like Scottie Scheffler." They couldn't believe it. And I felt really bad for the like Louisville Police Department, because it was a bad look, but it was really just like it's truly like the worst mix-up you could ever possibly have, because the only reason these events were set in motion was because of that accident.
I feel like Scottie's top speed through there was probably 9 miles per hour.
It probably happened in like 5 seconds.
100%. He's just, and we've been to these tournaments and we've driven through, and you kind of don't know, like, what do those cones mean? What lot do we have to be in? And you're kind of just driving through, and you're just like, I know the golf course is this direction. I'm going to go that way. So if you're Scottie Scheffler, he played on Thursday. He's like, I know where to go because I was here yesterday. We were all here yesterday. I don't know anything about this accident that's happened, but I'm just going to keep going through the way that I think is right. And that's had to be what flagged them. And they were like, we're going to take this guy to jail.
Dude, I had an all-time just backfire with those two guys who were Louisville police officers, who they were up in the T-Mobile Club Magenta with us. They're nice guys. They said hi to Frankie and Trent. They saw me on the way out. They're super nice dudes. And they were like, "You guys come back for the Derby. We'd love to have you." They're fucking great. And I was chit-chatting with them, and I said, "Man, this is a pretty easy week for you guys. I feel like this is kind of a pretty good gig." And I'll never forget. They're like, Riggs, we had like one guy who decided to drink an entire fifth of vodka before 9 a.m. this morning. But other than that, it's nice. We're outside. I was like, hell yeah, dude. And I was like, I know like a bunch of Frankie's buddies that are cops, and whenever they bring the PGA or the US Open to Bethpage, and we talk, and for the most part, it's like a nice gig. They're outside. They're kind of like patrolling golf crowds. Not that big of a deal. And then, bam, the next fucking morning, I woke up and I had shared that picture with one of the guys. And, immediately, like, everyone's shitting on the Louisville police. So then people were like responding to that picture that I'd put up the day before, being like, "Boy, is this not aging well?" And I was like, fuck, man, these guys went from, just like kind of a walk in the park. It's a golf crowd at a fucking tournament where they've already done all the security before they walk in. All you got to do is not get shit-faced and basically be the guy that streaks across the course and you're fine. Nope. Someone like gets hit by the bus, which is horrifically tragic. They accidentally, I would imagine, because the guy didn't know, lock up the number one player in the world. They're getting shit on by all the media everywhere. Boy, I felt like, God, that just came. I almost
really
felt like it was
did.
my fault.
Man, I was
felt like it
laughing to
my
myself
fault.
at like when I realized everything was like not Scottie's fault. I kept rewatching that video of him getting taken into the police car, and I had tears in my eyes, like because it's just like
It's so funny.
he looks back and he's like all right, like, I'm just putting myself in his situation where he's just like, I'm going to jail.
Dude,
I'm going to jail.
You
now.
can
And
feel the panic from Jeff Darlington. You can feel
It's like,
him
guys,
behind the camera just being like, guys, this is going to be the biggest story of the year if you do this. And they're just like, back it up, pal. This guy's going to jail.
This guy's going to jail and there's nothing you can do about it. And Scotty's looking back with his hands handcuffed. Like, oh shit.
And
Incredible.
then he shot 66.
Oh,
And then
it
he
was
shot
crazy.
66.
And he shot
And I think
66.
that round will grow in stature as the years go on because, you know, the details about Valhalla playing super easy and 66 not being that sick, those will fade. What we'll remember is that he woke up in the morning stretching in a jail cell and he shot 66 afterward.
Game Time, the only way to go to events. I'm looking at my phone right now on the Game Time app. You can go to a New York Yankees game against the Seattle Mariners coming up for $11. $11 hairs there, Trent, on the Game Time app. New York Yankees. You can get into Giants at Mets at Citi Field for $3. They have everything. They even have parking on there. And then Ed Sheeran is coming to the Barclays Center. $105 to go see Ed Sheeran. Have you ever seen videos of Ed Sheeran concerts? They go hard.
Do they? Well, I mean,
my God, he's always bringing out somebody. He brought out Eminem once in Detroit, and the place lost their minds. It's incredible. So make sure you go with Game Time to get these tickets. They are the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Finding tickets for less has never been easier. They have flash deals for sudden discounts, zone deals for when you're feeling flexible, and their lowest price guarantee, which means that if you can find the same seats for less anywhere else, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference of that price. Game Time is the best place for last minute seats with up to 60% off of your favorite events. What are you waiting for? I'm telling you, maybe I'll go to Ed Sheeran. I don't know if I'm going to be here. I'm going to the Rockies game. We haven't even gotten tickets to that thing. I'm going on Game Time, and I'm going to be going to the Rockies game. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code FORE, F-O-R-E, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. What stands out more, him shooting the 66 or the fact that he shot over par without Ted Scott?
Yeah, I mean, Ted Scott, but he also said this. We were at the interview with him, and he was saying that it finally hit him on Saturday morning. You know, like sometimes when your adrenaline's going, it's been such a crazy thing. He said he woke up on Saturday morning, and the gravity of what happened really set in. But maybe you're right. Maybe that's when you need Ted Scott even more. You know, you need your comfort zone. You need your guy to help.
I think there's some validity to that. Like on Friday, it's all adrenaline. You're just like, all right, I'm in jail now, so we're gonna figure that out, and then we're gonna get to the golf course.
Oh, insane!
And I know it's insane. And then we're gonna get there, and we're gonna make it happen. And the whole world's talking about me, but I'm just kind of riding this wave. And then I'm sure that night and that morning, it was just almost like an adrenaline dump where you're like, all right, so now it's Saturday morning. I'm not in jail anymore. So now I'm going to just go out there and have a regular warm up. And after the round, he was talking to Balionis, and he seemed pissed and he seemed tired and he was just kind of off. So I do think there's some validity to it all sort of hitting him the next day because he really did play like shit. And I'm sure that Chaplin is going to take a beating and Ted Scott is maybe going to ask for a raise now because they had a great Sunday. But I do think there is I think it probably hit him the next day, and that's why he shot such a bad round.
Oh, if Scottie, and this is not to take anything away from Xander Schauffele, but if Scottie Scheffler doesn't go to jail, he wins this PGA Championship.
Imagine he wins the last two, and then this guy just like ruined the Grand Slam. This arrest just ruined the Grand Slam.
No, he would have won, right? Like if he shoots a 66
let's see.
on Saturday, it's over.
Yeah, so he lost by 8. So he would have needed to shoot 65 on Saturday to tie, which feels about what he would
feels
have
very
shot.
doable.
Yeah.
Right.
He's kind of like a cruise control 65 guy now.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I think there's some truth to that. We'll never obviously know, but yeah, I mean, all of those events that happened could have led to Scottie Scheffler just not getting the Grand Slam, and that's why.
Oh man, it's just it's really going to test his stress level, like how he's able to manage his stress levels going forward, because he's just the guy that got arrested now. You know, like and this it seems like this just happens to the big guys. They always have like something. And Tiger became like the Tiger. All of his stories always followed him to every single tournament he went to. Like Scottie now was just on such a clean run to just becoming the best golfer in the world. And now it's just like you're the guy that got arrested. And I know
I think it's a
great
net
for his
positive.
image.
Yeah.
It is great for his image, but will he take it that way?
I
Like,
think
does Scottie Scheffler know
was-
how to be the guy that went to fucking jail?
I think,
went
I
out and
think
shot
he
a
does.
66.
I think he does. He was saying after the round, he was like, I stretched in jail. It was a first for me. Like he was kind of already cracking jokes about it.
Yeah,
it's
but it's
different
not,
when like Tiger's DUI and arrest was
that's no good.
embarrassing. Like
Yes.
so they got the jail footage. He's wandering around. He's sitting on a chair. We're talking about this is the greatest golfer of all time and does not know what state he's
Right.
in, what planet he's on. Scottie, it was all one big misunderstanding. Charges are going to get dropped. It sounds like he's not the jail guy. It's
not
Scottie
the
Scheffler
negative
who
jail guy. It's like the funny, like crazy jail story where it's like obviously he did nothing wrong and the world loves him for it. But like he's such a quiet, church going, profanity doesn't turn a boy into a man type of, you know what I mean? Like that's Scottie Scheffler. Like, I don't think he jokes lightly about like going to jail the week after his son was born. Like I don't think, regardless of what happened, right? Like I don't think he's gonna like. I don't know. It's just he doesn't seem like that guy. Had it been fucking like Viktor Hovland, like he like went to jail for blasting fucking like screamo music too loud or something, I think he'd have been like, yeah, fuck it. Like I'm a fucking psychopath. Like I love this shit. But Scottie's like that's gonna rattle his cage, man.
I don't know. If he had shot 73-73 Saturday, Sunday, I'm
Okay,
with you.
yeah, that's true.
But he went 73. What do you shoot today? 65?
65,
Right.
65.
Yeah. That's a guy who's just going to be like, all right, this was the craziest thing that's going to happen to me probably in my life. And I'm refocused now. Saturday, not so much. Sunday, he's got Ted back out there. We're back to business.
It's all he's going to hear for the rest of his life. It is a monumental moment in this man's life. Every time he's on a golf course, he's going to hear something about going to jail.
He's going to hear Free
And it's
Scottie a lot.
Free Scottie a lot. It obviously trended for like 2 straight days. Just a crazy fucking story.
He really
I can't
bailed out
believe
Rory. He really bailed out
He
Rory
did.
because Rory at the
No
beginning of
pun
the week,
intended.
that was it's true. That was the story at the beginning of the week. Was like this guy, he's got divorced and what's going on there? He's not wearing the ring. Is he going to be, he's going for another major championship? And then as soon as that Scottie thing happened, Rory was a complete afterthought.
It really
Yeah.
it brought Twitter together too, which Twitter has been
man.
crazy
Dude, there was
the last 4
one-
years. But it was the funniest day on Twitter in a long, long, long time.
There was one post that showed John Daly looking through a rangefinder, and it was like John Daly has withdrawn from the PGA Championship because he saw a bunch of police outside the entrance and he was shit-faced from the night before. So he drove around and didn't show up. Dude, however it was worded, I laughed so hard because they just perfectly found that picture of him sitting on a golf cart with like just zooming in, being like, out the back, cops, we gotta get out of here.
All-time Twitter day.
Man. Really
My
good.
favorite
Really good.
was there was the meme of like the black hand and the white hand shaking hand, and one of them
Yeah.
was like liberal protesters and the other one was golf bros, and it was police justice reform. Like it brought everybody together.
There was one that was from Jingle All the Way, where the police, the mailman's driving by Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's like, "Need any help, officer?" And like he laughs, and it was like Xander Schauffele looking at Rory, and it's just everything about it was so fucking funny. Just a wild day, man. Like I was on the horn with Dave Portnoy at like 7:30 in the morning. Like that's when you know golf is fucking firing. Something fucking happened. So. Just crazy times that we're living in, man. Truly crazy times.
I don't know if we got Riggs back here. Riggs has got hotel Wi-Fi. I think
Riggs is in the middle of like mountains.
I'm in New York City. There seems to be some sort of paramedic truck outside.
Is that a paramedic truck in the background?
Yeah, it is.
Nice.
Good old paramedic. Can I be heard?
Yeah, you can.
All right. Yeah, I'm in Brewster, Washington, so I'm just struggling.
I had I gotta get something on my chest. I had like a lurch style week and weekend on Twitter or on X, whatever you want to call it. I just couldn't.
What do you mean?
I just couldn't nail anything this week, and I felt like everything I was sending out had to be like explained, or people weren't getting it right.
Oh,
Like I
no.
just missed the mark on a couple of tweets where it was like driving me crazy. So like every single time Scottie Scheffler wins or he's in contention, I always quote tweet that I'm so proud of you, Scottie. Because when we had him on like 2 or 3 years ago, I told him I was very proud of him. He's this innocent little baby boy that happens to be the best golfer in the world. And you just like want to cuddle him. And I'm just so proud of him, right? Like we felt like we've been there since before anyone even knew who Scottie Scheffler was. From before, obviously at the PGA at Kiowa, no one really knew what Scottie Scheffler was about. Anyway, I always quote tweet it so you can follow the history of it. But I decided to, at like 8 o'clock in the morning after he got arrested, I said, I'm so proud of you, Scottie, and I always will be. Nothing will change that. Right. And now that would have made sense on like a quote tweet thing because I'm constantly doing it. But on its own, I could see how people are like, what the fuck is that tweet? So now I'm getting all these tweets, and Brandon fucking Walker and Mark Tice are like, I've never seen them laugh at anything like as hard as they've laughed at that. And they're going nuts. And then they've got all these bots that come after you, which is insane. Most of sports has bots that go crazy on you, which is great. It's a great show. So obviously they have a huge following that goes after people. But I got that. And then Big Cat tweeted, like, what the fuck is this? And then I got Big Cat texting me being like, what is that? And I was like, bro, it was a joke. Like, I fucked up the placement of that tweet, right? And it's just, there's no going back from that. Like, you just become the fucking guy that sent out a weird tweet.
I mean, the listeners of this show got it. They understood.
Everyone had 1,000, it had like 1,500 likes.
I obviously understand people who aren't, don't have their finger on the foreplay pulse, are like, what is happening with this? Tommy Smokes texted me. He was like, what's this Frankie tweet? And I'm like, he says it after every Scottie win. It's a running joke. And Tommy's like, oh, okay, I get it now.
I fucked up the quote tweet thing. It was just a lurch move. I didn't know how to use Twitter for a second, and I fucked up. And then, it's just, I just like, and then just here on the 18th hole, Xander Schauffele, he has that fucking lie where it's for a righty, it's a nightmare. And he hits an incredible shot standing in the bunker, baseball swing. And I wrote, I can't even describe how badly I would have fucked up this shot, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm hitting it regular as a lefty and I'd still fuck it up, right? And
it's a miss.
Everyone's like, you're a fucking lefty, bro. I'm like, I actually quote tweeted one. And I said, that's the joke, you fucking moron. Like,
it's a miss.
I just missed it. And you know what? That's a hand up. Like, sometimes you just don't have it. And I just don't have it, man.
It's a tough day and a tough weekend to not have it, because when that stuff's going, it's live bullets. It's, if you get good ones.
I didn't have it.
Oh, dude, I mean, I had one, not to pat myself on the back, but
there's Dylan DeChambeau, Netflix superstar in the background behind Dan.
The addition,
best golf
I
journalist
tweeted
in
a
the
couple
room.
months ago after he won the RBC, if you have a piece of clothing, whatever, Scottie Scheffler's coming for it. And then I got to quote tweet it and be like, this was a stunning addition in the orange, 15,000 likes. And then we're fine. Then the adrenaline hits my heart and I'm ready to go. And then under it, I was like, I won the same tournament. Bang! 5,000 likes. Things were happening. Things were happening.
I just missed. I mean, I did jump on the free Scottie, which was huge. That was like, we needed to get that, but I didn't have it. I had it in some parts. I didn't have it in other parts. So I don't know. Maybe I used it all up at 7 a.m. on Friday morning. I just wasn't there. I just wasn't there.
Right.
It's like going out there on a golf course and you miss a bunch of 3-footers. Like, what the fuck happened out there today? And that was me on Twitter.
All
this
right.
weekend.
Well, was that a breaking 90 shot?
No. See, I can't even say anything now. Nothing's clicking.
Yeah. I've kind of become addicted to trolling people at the end of big tournaments, and it works tremendously. Like, clearly everyone's shitting on Valhalla all week long and about everything that went wrong, could go wrong, from the logistics to the complete Mickey Mouse hole, where I'm so proud of Toasty, a Frankie Borelli Toasty moment where he just said fuck it and ripped driver at that green and made eagle. That was awesome. That hole is the most preposterous hole in the history of golf like that I've seen. I love it so much, but golf purists with that lose their mind. So Valhalla, like, the PGA of America doesn't own it anymore. They're most likely never ever going to go back there. It's got that split fairway, crazy par 5, all the stuff that like people bitch about, whatever. And I just put out a tweet at the end. I was ready for it, knowing that like people love to just shit on that golf course and shit on the PGA. And anytime it's long, rough, and it just plays long, but then they light it up, like all the golf architect purists lose their mind about it, and they were the whole time. And I just had it ready to go of like, give me some kind of moment with the Xander putt, because you had the Tiger thing from 2000, which was amazing. The point, you had the Rory playing up in the dark with Phil and all the confusion of 2014. You had the Bryson moment on 18, which shout out to Bryson. Like, God, we've gone circles with that guy a million times. That was awesome. Then I was like, give us something at the end. And it was just that putt lipping in, put it out there of like, is Valhalla the best major championship course in the world? And I mean, people are losing their mind over the entire thing. I think it's got 700 replies already. So people are just very mad online about that. But if we're done with the whole Scottie stuff, which credit to Scottie, I thought he had really a fucking unbelievable week, all things considered. You guys, I think we're touching on it a little bit while I was gone there for a second. Apparently, they just rerouted a bunch of the bandwidth to building 3, which is the building that I'm in. So I'm going to have better Wi-Fi. I didn't know you could do that. Apparently, that's the thing they could do. But there's a very real possibility that if Scottie Scheffler wins the next 2 major championships, golf history is going to look back on this entire year and be like, so you're telling me if that fucking guy didn't get arrested, that he would have just won the Grand Slam? I mean, that's an incredible
That's a great take.
possibility.
It's a great take. Last time I heard it, I fell off my dinosaur laughing so hard.
You being mean to me there?
Oh, I just said the exact same thing. I just said literally the exact same thing.
I wasn't fucking here for that. I just said I wasn't here for that. Jesus Christ.
Golf season has officially arrived, and that's why we are here to tell you about the new lineup of performance polos from our dear friends at Peter Millar. This season, we all at Foreplay are huge fans of the Kelly and Hogan hard collar polos. These shirts are inspired by vintage golf polos and feature classic design touches like the 4-button placket in their signature performance fabrications. I love the 4-button. I'm telling you, it's just, you look at it and you're like, that is classy. That's coming from a different era, but they're bringing it in because it's tight, it's breathable, it's a performance polo. It's amazing. Performance benefits like 4-way stretch, moisture wicking, and UPF sun protection while you playing. We'll have you playing your best while in new seasonal designs, and this will ensure you to be able to play your round in style. I'm telling you right now, Peter Millar is the best in the game. The pants, shirts, the quarter zips.
Yeah, this hoodie I've got on right now is Peter Millar. I love this thing. It's comfortable.
Phenomenal. They sent me a nice care package. I know they sent us all care packages of our favorite teams. They're doing a new baseball, MLB licensing. I know that they have college football license. They sent you Iowa stuff, Trent. They sent me Yankees stuff. And in the note, it said, hopefully the Yankees do better than your New York Islanders, which was like, there's no reason to add that to that amazing shipment, but I got a good chuckle out of that. So at least they know how to really get to my core, and they know how to make me really upset on a Friday afternoon when I open up that package. So Peter Millar, they just get it. They're amazing. I was so happy. I'm like, look at these Yankees hoodies from Peter Millar, and at the bottom it's like, hopefully this goes better than that nightmare that happened.
I mean, that's what you get as the biggest Islander fan in the world. You're just out there.
And it had a little smile at the end, which was just like, woof. Peter Millar's the best. Make sure to head over to petermillar.com/foreplay to check out all of their performance apparel. That's Peter Millar, the official outfitter of the USGA. Go to petermillar.com/foreplay.
Anyways, if we're done with the Scottie stuff, we got to move on to a lot, because there was just a lot of phenomenal stuff. I think based on everything that I witnessed throughout this weekend, if I had woken up Saturday and it said Jon Rahm was arrested, I wouldn't have been surprised. That guy seems like he's the most unhappy, furious person in the world. The 2-handed club throw spike was off the charts. Him missing the cut, all the stuff. I don't know if anybody else had any like hard, but just watching Jon Rahm play golf was almost like hard to watch him throughout the entire Monday or Thursday, Friday.
He looked completely miserable. It's hard to remember. Like, obviously, we're viewing it through the lens of he went to live. Is that what's making him miserable? He wasn't exactly like rainbows and lollipops before that. But the whispers around the golf world, and he sort of confirmed this at the Masters, was that he thought that his move was everyone was going to come together. That was kind of the missing piece. You're going to be the guy who brings this whole thing together. And obviously that didn't happen. And then ever since he went, Scottie Scheffler has elevated himself into the clear-cut number one, and he's only had 2 chances to compete against him this year to really prove himself. He's been playing golf pretty much anonymously on Live. Like, unless you win, no one really even hears about it. And he finished 45th at the Masters in his title defense and missed the cut here. He had made the cut in 18 straight major championships, missed the cut here. I would love to know what's going through his head right now. I mean, he's got, obviously, it goes without saying, $300 million makes anything hurt a little bit less. But I really do think that he didn't envision this scenario. This is kind of as bad as it could have gone when he left. There's no deal, and he's playing shit in the majors.
But he's a guy who cares about legacy, so he's got to be furious. Like, I
does.
get that he gets a lot of money, but he cares a lot about legacy. When we interviewed him that one time, a lot of it was legacy talk. And I agree with you. I think he probably thought he would sign with Liv and things would be back together in a short period of time. Maybe not yet, but pretty short. And yeah, to be playing like shit in the big tournaments, it doesn't matter how much money you have. For a guy like him, he's clearly furious, and he showed that.
I also think you see when you go over to that side, and I think Rahm is seeing this, that like when you're playing really well on the PGA Tour and you're getting all this hype and all this momentum and you're winning big tour events, and the legacy is starting to build, that's how you become the number one, the greatest, the guy that everyone's talking about. He could go out and play really well in all these live tournaments, but like you said, is if you're not winning it, no one's really talking about it. And even if you do win, it's like a sneaky, like, oh, like watch out for Jocko or watch out for Cam Smith. He actually won like on live recently. And a lot of like the casual golf fans, like, all right, like I guess that guy's been doing good over there. It's not the same. And I feel like Rahm probably knew that going in, but really it's starting to set in as he's watching, because this guy was the number one golfer in the world at one point. Like this guy knows what it's like to be up there, and he's watching someone be able to achieve something that he'll never be able to achieve now. He's not gonna get the points, he's not gonna be able to do that. And that's got to be pretty, not like haunting because the guy made 300 million, but that's gonna hurt him in some part of his core. That's like who he is. That's what built the Jon Rahm that we know.
Right.
The professional golf, like go out, stone cold killer, cold stone killer, stone cold killer.
That's me.
Yeah.
You're the cold stone killer?
Yeah. I love that shit.
The cold stone deleter.
Cold stone.
You know who my MVP, and we touched on him a little bit just a couple minutes ago, Bryson DeChambeau. This is the guy that I now want them to get a deal done because of him. Because whenever I see him, the last 2 times I've seen him, Masters, PGA Championship, first of all, he's playing unbelievably. And then second, he's still so weird and does the weirdest stuff in the world that I can't keep my eyes off him. Even that last birdie putt on 18 today.
Yeah.
That little dance he did when it went into the hole,
weird.
So strange, so weird, couldn't keep my eyes off of it. So that guy, get it done so I can watch. And I was like, I miss Bryson DeChambeau, blah, blah. People obviously were like, he didn't die. He's still playing on live. You know what I mean? I need all this stuff to come back together. I want to watch Jon Rahm play. I want to watch Bryson DeChambeau play. I want to watch Scottie and them all play in the same tournament, and so they can all do weird things, especially Bryson DeChambeau. I just miss the guy. I really do love him.
He's clearly a weirdo and dance the whole thing, and he also hits fucking bombs. Like
he's so good.
The style of golf that he plays is so incredibly entertaining to watch. When he's hyping himself up before he hits it, takes it back, and just roasts it. I can't believe he didn't go for the green on 13. I know the stats and whatever. Like he just was in a position for an all-time moment there to rip it on the green. If he hits it on the green and makes eagle, everybody goes nuts. If he hits it on the green and it goes in, it's the most iconic moment in the history of golf. And he hits it down there. He still makes birdie. He ends up losing by 1. But everything about, he was trying to drive the green on the par 5 fucking whatever that is, 4th hole at Bay Hill, and raising his hands in the air, whatever he did it, hit it over the water time and time again. I really thought he was going to go for it. But I'm with you, Trent. He's my number one guy that I missed through all of this. He's been, the last 2 tournaments, has been great. Everything about him is entertaining from start to finish. You kind of have to watch him. And he pretty much did everything that he really could to get into that playoff. I thought they were going to get into a playoff, and then you're going to have Bryson with his crazy antics against Xander, who looks like he doesn't even have a heartbeat half the time. But I'm with you. Bryson is really, we're right back in. I'm all the way in on Bryson right now.
Yeah, and it feels like YouTube, I asked him that question on Saturday. I was like, you feel like the fans are way more behind you? He's like, yeah, I really think YouTube did it for me, like just showing people who I actually am, getting a medium that's my own. And then I just want to read what he said yesterday. If we're all being honest, if everybody's being honest, which I love that he started with, if we're all honest, it's not truly been tested on a robot, nor can it be. And the FEA models only go so far. So it's kind of a journey. FEA is finite element analysis, or finite element modeling. Sorry. Element analysis modeling. It's only as good as the inputs you give it, and it's just a model on the computer. There's not enough information known right now, but I'm willing to go down that path and figure it out. I'm telling you, when he said that, all of us in there looked at each other like, what the fuck is he talking about?
I'll be honest, and I'm not ruling it out if and when this all comes back together, that I completely flip back on Bryson and I'm like, this is too much. I can't handle all this. This is really, he might be like a small doses guy. But when I've gotten him in the last 2 tournaments, I've loved him. But that quote and all that stuff, I'm sure there'll be a time on this podcast when I completely flip my stance on Bryson. It just so happens right now I'm really quite in love with him. But that stuff, he doesn't have a camera or a microphone in front of him as much on Live, clearly, that he doesn't like, the antics don't show out as much. But as soon as he gets back in the spotlight, boom, we're talking about robotics, and it's really something.
You need to microdose Bryson.
Yeah.
Just a little bit at a time. It just feels, you get what you need out of him, but you also don't get too fucked up.
But right now I'm craving. I want the macro dose. But then when he comes back, I'm gonna have a bad trip, and I'm gonna be like, I want a microdose again.
Yeah, it was a wild finish for him. Like he really played well. He fought all the way to the end. He went for it. He never took his foot off the gas. He made Xander finish strong with the birdie. He gave it his all, Bryson. Obviously, like hitting that bunker was kind of tough for him. He just hits it too damn far, and it just turned on it a little bit. But if he hits that thing in the fairway, I think that's go zone clearly for him to be able to make possibly that eagle that he needed to really, really put the heat on Xander and to go birdie coming in. So, I mean, Bryson's always going to be able to show up in these big moments. He just hits when you hit it that far and he's that consistent. And the way that he putts he makes putting look so fucking easy. Like that that little like worm camera, whatever we call it. Like it is a legit pendulum. It doesn't move an inch. It's perfect. His arms are so damn tight. It's like, why don't we all just putt like that? I'm doing it right now.
He does.
It's so easy.
It looks a little uncomfortable though.
Oh, but it should be, putting's not natural. It should just be fucking all shoulders. Oh,
I feel like I do look like him when I putt, and I putt like shit. I am all straight arms. That's what Colin Morikawa was telling me at the RBC. He's like, this guy, you're just arms. You're just arms and straight. I feel like that's what Bryson does. I slice my putts. He does not do that.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, but I think your arms and straight like on accident. I think he stands really tall too, right? Doesn't he? He like stands really tall and does it like on purpose.
Basically, he like claps and then brings it down and just somehow has a club in the middle of it and just does this.
He's definitely thought about his putting stroke more than I've thought about mine, but it's
for sure.
It works. He's a stud.
Yeah. I want to shout out real quick. Last thing I want to say on Bryson, good for him that he does all the YouTube stuff and then still is able to contend in back-to-back major championships. I find that incredibly impressive. Like, there's a lot of people that would bitch that they get too distracted and a lot of them do. The only other one that comes to mind is like Max Homa, who kind of does everything. He does videos, he does podcasts, he does shows, and then is also a stud, President's Cup, Ryder Cup, tournaments, whatever. I thought that was really impressive that he does the YouTube stuff. I'm watching him try to like break 50 with these guys on YouTube, and then back-to-back majors, he damn near won the tournament. So credit to Bryson. He's in right now. Everybody's hot on Bryson. Viktor Hovland had an incredible showing. There were kind of just 3 guys all the way down the stretch that really felt like they all deserved to win. They're all hitting the shots. Hovland, the entire story, and one of my notes from this was just how ruthless of a world it is for golf swing coaches who are then considered the other coach at the time. Because, boy, whoever the guy was that Viktor was working with before he went back to his guy was just getting fucking shit on the entire weekend, to the point where at one point, like, it was Nance or Immelman asked like Colt Knost, like, how long after he started working again with his old guy did he feel like he found it again? And he was like 30 minutes. And I was like, that other guy, whoever the other coach was, that was just tough. And it never ever isn't that way where they're like, yeah, he went to Butch Harmon and man, he found his game again. And for like 3 years there was somebody else. And you're like, oh, that other guy, you're saying he's a fucking idiot. So I couldn't get over how bad and harsh that was the entire time. But Hovland playing great, played phenomenal.
The coaching carousel is very sort of high school, like the scene out here. Like Chris Como, who was Xander Schauffele's coach, he was Bryson's coach when Bryson won the U.S. Open. So, he's got his new student going against his old student. You had Viktor with that whole drama. Also, Colin Morikawa went back to his old coach, who was his coach when he won 2 major championships. Like, it's the same thing as the caddies. Everyone's kind of looking around, sniffing around, and they all like trade off with each other. It's very incestual.
It's tough, dude. It's just tough. It's like, that whole thing made me die. It's like, made me think like some guy starts dating your girl and he's just trying for months to get her to get her over the top, to get her to climax. Can't do it. She goes back to the ex. It just in 2 minutes just like makes her cut. It's like that's what it made me feel like. Where it's just like this fucking guy is just everything that they're saying positive about what he's doing now is just shitting on the other guy, and there's really no way to avoid it. So I felt bad for whoever the other guy was the entire time. But Hovland played phenomenal.
I know who it was. I'm not going to say his name.
Okay.
We is Hovland going to turn? So we get to Schauffele. Is Hovland going to turn to the next Schauffele? Is that the carousel also now, where it's like he's just always going to be there? T2, T3 at Masters, and all these things, and he's going to be in the mix, top tens and majors. Just doesn't get it done.
He's probably the best current player. Yeah, now he's the best current player without a major. It was probably Xander before that, who had been close the most, and now it's Viktor. But he's only 27, I think. It's maybe 28, 27. So he's got plenty of time.
How old's Cantlay?
Cantlay never shows up in the majors. It's crazy.
I know.
I feel like I didn't even see him the whole week.
And he's older than we'd think, right?
He's 32, I think.
Yeah.
Old soul.
Yeah, definitely an old soul.
Old soul.
Listens to just like instrumental music, you know?
Beethoven.
Yeah, just
Bach.
You know what's funny about I'm actually watching Amadeus right now. I'm like 2 hours in. The Mozart movie.
Oh, I didn't know what that is.
It's like a 1980s movie. Phenomenal. Like really good.
Who's in it?
I don't know. You know, it's one of those, it's a 1980s.
All right.
I'm sure famous people, but I don't know. But yeah, just Mozart's whole, you know, there was a guy that really hated him and like wanted him dead because he was so fucking talented, and he was a composer in the same town. It's great. It's a great movie. But that's what he listens to for sure. Cantlay. He strokes a cat.
A hairless cat.
Hairless. Yep. Just kind of sits with it,
Hangs
strokes
out with
it, lets it purr. The most prestigious golf courses in the country have trusted Imperial with the design of their headwear for over 100 years, and they remain the number one headwear in golf today. Oh, I got something on for you, Trent. Look at this. I'm not going to be able to hear you for a second.
That's okay.
Bang.
That's an Imperial hat right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is a beautiful, beautiful hat. Looks great on you. Look at that, showing the Imperial tag right there. Yeah, they've just got incredible hats. They fit great. They look great. The crown is really nice. Like if you're nervous about the crown, that on that hat looks amazing. Imperial just makes really, really nice and comfortable hats.
They are the proud partner of the PGA of America, PGA Tour, LPGA, USGA, and is the official headwear of the AJGA. Licensed collections made in partnership with these organizations are available on their site and include styles with event logos from the WM Phoenix Open, the Players Championship, the President's Cup, the 2024 US Open, and the 2024 PGA Championship, which we just saw. Amazing Imperial hats and more. Lastly, Imperial knows custom hats. This is my favorite part of this partnership because I'm telling you right now, if you're having a buddy's trip and you want to get your own hats, this is where you got to go. Customers can mix and match to design your own, or you can even upload a logo of your choice. This is the website you got to go to. It's custom.imperial1916.com. You can order custom Imperial headwear with no minimums, quick turnarounds, and free shipping. So if you have an event coming up, you want to throw your logo, maybe you and your friends all came up with some funny logo and you have your name of your event that's coming up. I did this. I have a thing coming up at the Big Cedar Lodge with 16 of my buddies. I cannot wait. And it's called the Rip and Sip. And I made a whole logo with AI. I ended up like getting like a beer to swing a golf club. It's the coolest thing ever. I'm getting those on my hats. And again, that website is custom.imperial1916.com. Make sure you do that. Shop all of Imperial's collections today at imperial1916.com and use code Barstool to get 20% off your first order, and be on the lookout for Barstool Golf and Imperial headwear coming to your local pro shops very soon.
Tiger Woods, not a lot of positive stuff to say about the Tiger Woods showing. I would say this last week.
I actually disagree.
Okay.
Wow. I know that I got 2 points on close to the pin, but other than that.
And I have been the most negative on Tiger on this. I thought he looked better physically than I've seen him since the accident. I really did. I thought he was
saying
moving
that
better.
He called you D?
No, I thought he had more. No. I thought he had more speed. I thought he looked like he was walking way better. And then after he missed the cut on Friday, he goes, "Yeah, I just need to play more, but I'm not going to play more. So hopefully it happens in practice." And I was like, "Okay, so this is just not happening anymore." But I actually did think he moved better. You didn't think so, Riggsy?
No, I thought he looked like he was laboring less than the last time that we saw him, but we also saw him play 4 competitive rounds last time, not 2. Like, I don't think Thursday, Friday last time we were like, oh, he's struggling. I think that he played worse golf and also didn't make the cut and like clearly looked better than he looked. He looked better on Friday than he looked on Sunday at the Masters, but I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. He shot a lot. His game didn't look very, he's missing like that. I don't know. If he is healthier and feeling healthier and stronger, which I think he did say he's stronger, then that's not good that he's playing bad. It's like, I need him to be it. I don't know. I didn't take a ton out of it. It felt like, I don't know. I just didn't see a lot of positive.
Watching his Saturday round, it just felt like the muse had left him, like he's just making mistakes. He's not playing well. Doesn't look like he's particularly having a good time. Those are tough rounds to watch. And I don't know where it goes. And I mean, like he said, if he could play more, his game would be sharper. But if he plays more, he might be hurt or he might get tired. He's really boxed in a bad spot. And I just don't know where we go from here. I said on a couple podcasts ago, maybe he should just play the Masters. Every year we ramp up to the Masters. Tiger plays. He's got all the energy in the world. Maybe he's been playing a lot of golf off, but when I'm watching that Saturday round, I was pretty discouraged with my Tiger return thoughts.
Yeah, it's a crazy spin zone, but I think I'd rather him miss cuts because he's just not sharp. And he says he's starting to feel stronger each day, right? Like he's starting to feel a little bit healthier. He's walking a little bit better. He feels like he didn't make this cut because of his game, not his leg, not his back. You know what I mean? Like that might be a weird spin zone to be like, yeah, we're happy that he missed it because he's played so shitty. But at least it's like he just had a really bad day out there. His second round, he really was he couldn't figure it out. He's putting it in the wrong places. Couldn't fucking putt well. He wasn't reading the greens right. Like he was off, And like, to me, that's a little bit more, all right, like he's Tiger Woods. He's going to assess this. He's going to figure it out. He's going to work on it. He's had bad rounds before, right? I mean, like he'll figure that out. And as long as it's not his fucking leg, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just thought when I saw those press conferences after, and even like going into the week, he definitely felt just stronger.
He looked enormous. His upper body is enormous. Like, we got to stop.
Nothing's working right now. Can we at least try or trial just showing up on a Thursday, no practice round? Just show up on Thursday. Just show up for your tee time. Don't get in Wednesday night.
Experimenting.
Dude, there's always these whispers, and I know we've talked about in the last show, it might be just state-run media, but he shot 62 at Valhalla the week before the PGA Championship. Can we just have that happen on Thursday? Like, just show up your first time, take a little spin around, spin maybe walk around with a wedge around the clubhouse and like knock the ball up in the air and just be like, "What's up, boys?" And just like whatever you got to do, and then just show up to the first tee. Don't even hit a ball in the range. We got to try something. What's the worst that's going to happen? We're going to miss a cut.
I've been saying that. I don't understand why he gets there on Sunday. We got to give Xander his flowers a little bit, I think, before we depart. That was he totally changed the narrative. He totally changed the narrative with that back nine. I thought after he made that bogey on 10, no one was bogeying 10. I thought he was about to unravel. And then on 11, he hit it stiff, made the putt. 12, he hit it stiff again, made the putt. 17, a really gutsy up and down. And then that set up a dream. Like every golfer, you got to birdie this par 5 to win the major championship. I thought he was going to lay up after he hit it there. He played super aggressive, pushed it right short of the green. He played the hole perfectly. It was a victory for patience and perseverance, because the narrative before today was that he couldn't close, and he changed that in one afternoon.
Yeah, and he did it with. I think it would be one thing if he kind of broke through by being one of the guys in the third to last group who goes out there and posts a number and then that number holds up. But man, for him to shoot that 62 on Thursday, go wire to wire, he knows the narratives out there. He can hear Bryson's going nuts in front of him. Hovland's going nuts in front of him. He's standing there alongside Morikawa, who is, I believe, younger than he is, who's got a couple major championships, and he absolutely dusted him. And he played, nearly flawless golf. I know he made that bogey on 10, but I still felt like he flushed it. Like he flushed his tee shot, just caught that bunker. He made maybe a weird decision to go for it with that hybrid or whatever that was. He flushed that shot, ended up in a bad spot. He hit a great shot from there that I couldn't believe it kept trickled off. He hit kind of a shit chip and a shit putt, but like I'm so glad for him that he was able to stay, because I think we were all thinking like, oh, back 9, he's finally going to crumble. He's going to finish fucking 6th place, birdie after that, to then like follow up everything that the guys did in front of him, get himself in that position on 18, even that chip on 17. It's a pretty basic chip for those guys, but that's like tight lie. And I know they're all talking about the Kentucky grass is perfect, but he backed off it for a reason. Like that's one of the harder shots to hit under pressure is a leading edge wedge. You got to pitch it up there close. You don't want to have to leave yourself a 6-footer. He pitched it up there, chipped it up there incredibly close. And then, like you said, there's water all up the right. We've seen Tiger Woods there when he won in 2000, hit it off the planet left. He hits a pretty damn good drive that catches a bad fucking break. He doesn't like pout, whatever. Stood in there, took on an aggressive ass play. Like we were all standing in the bar here at Gamble Sands and like trying to be like, wait, is he going for it? What is that? He absolutely ripped it from that weird lie. Great chip up the hill. And then to make that putt, it lipped in for him. Could have gone either way. Good for him. So, yeah, I don't know how you could say more good things about Xander in that situation. And it was all weekend long, man. It wasn't like you could just go post a low round in a normal major and then kind of hang on the rest of the time. Like, he posted 9 under that round. He still had to finish 21 under to fucking win. So it's like the rest of the week, he still had to play a million under par the rest of the week to get the win, and he fucking did it. So hats off to him. I think like now he's going to be a serious problem, because I know like me and all my buddies group text on Thursday, we weren't even considering him a problem after he shot the 62. Everyone's like, he's going to fold like a house of cards. Not a problem. Now Xander's got the major. He did it with fucking huge names behind him. That was sick. That was like why you watch major golf right there.
6-foot putt. What do you guys, that was his final putt for birdie. What do you guys think the PGA Tour percentage is from 6 feet?
Oh, like
I'm going to guess like 62%.
Wow, we said the same number.
I'm going to say it's like 71.
70%.
Yeah.
70%.
But I mean,
That's
with
high, man.
with
Those
all
guys
the
are
people
good.
around,
Those
there
guys
was
are good.
so many people on that 18th hole. Like so many people.
If
The
I
crowds-
get the lie that he got off the drive, I'm already in my head thinking, here's my excuse why I'm going to lose this tournament. I already have it. I can't wait to talk about it in the press conference. Hey, why did you make a bogey and then you lost, or you made a par and you lost to Bryson in the playoff? It all came down to that drive on 18, and I got unlucky. It's not my fault. It's the golf course's fault. So for him to persevere and make a birdie from there, incredible. I really thought it was an incredible display.
And he was in the bunker on 17 too, right? Just 2 really nervy finishing holes where, you know, the average golfer is just collapsing. There's no doubt about it. You have, like you said, you have a million different excuses. You're up against a lip, or you can't get it over. And it's just, there's so much. And then these guys, they just figure it out, man. In the biggest moments, they get these shots that, how often does he practice that shot where the ball's above his feet like that? I mean, does he ever?
In a bunker? Never.
Does Xander Schauffele ever stand like baseball swing style with his 2 feet in a bunker with a ball on
Gotta be an
whatever
athlete.
type of rough? He's just got to figure it out. And he's hitting that for the biggest shot of his life. That's the biggest shot of his life, right? Just making
Up
sure
until
that
the
thing goes
putt,
straight.
yeah.
Yeah, and there's water and shit everywhere. Like, you know, that's like there's trouble.
Nance was so happy that he got to say Louisville Slugger on that shot.
Oh.
He was like, oh, it's like a baseball stand. It's like he's holding a Louisville Slugger. And it's just
Loved
like,
it.
you're the best. Jim Nance,
Loved
you're the
it.
best, dude.
I love that.
Yeah, that was sick. His tempo just throughout his swing is so desirable, and I think that like watching him play is very aesthetically pleasing with that swing. It just feels like nothing's going to go wrong when he hits it, and it pretty much doesn't. So good for fucking Xander. It was very, very fun to watch. So clutch down the stretch. A million different things could have happened, and he pulled it off as the guy that was leading the entire time. It was sick. That was sick.
And he's so fucking long now off the tee. He was like high 180s ball speed. He's in the top 10 in driving distance now. It's like he's him and Chris Como have changed his swing and added a ton of speed.
Smashing the golf ball. And he was hitting those drives, like a couple of those holes where they have to hit that low bullet cut. He would just step up and hit that fucking bullet that barely got that was way lower trajectory than his normal driver. And he also had like on that fourth hole where everybody was going for it, he was in the rough right there and like pitching across the bunker. And they're talking about in the coverage of like he maybe should even hit it out to the right to be safe. And he just hit it out of that thick, brutal rough, like a 30-yard chip over this bunker that rolled out to like 6 feet, makes it. So he just, I don't know, man. He was hitting all the shots, and you add it all up, and he won by fucking 1. That's what's nuts to me. It's like he played so phenomenal the entire week, and he won by 1 barely with a putt that lipped in on the last hole.
Shout out to his guy, his caddy, Austin Kaiser. Also, there's a lot of duos that you just become used to seeing out on the PGA Tour, especially when you're at all the tournaments that we are and all the majors. And he's just always been his guy. I just looked up quickly. He's been on his bag for about 6 years. He's known him for 10 years, since he was 20 years old. Just a ride or die caddy that's always with Xander. Like, whenever we get any sort of interaction with Xander, it's always like he's right there, right behind him, just trucking along. And he's just been there on this journey of Xander not getting it done and getting top 10s and finishing in second. And he's just, it was nice to see that duo hugging on 18, holding up the trophy. That was nice. Like, that's a team effort from all that they've been through, and just becoming the guy that can't get it done. You also are part of that as Austin. It's just like, that was nice to see.
No Papa Schauffele? I didn't see him anywhere.
Oh, so he was in Hawaii, he said. So his mom was in San Diego, and then his dad was in Hawaii. He called him pre-round and was like, they were both crying, being like, go get it done, son. Like, he knew it was his time. Like, he knew that it was time to go. And yeah, of course, like, how many freaking tournaments has Xander Schauffele's dad been at, and he misses the freaking
every
major?
single
I don't know
one.
Why he's in Hawaii, but I know.
As he was walking off the green, I was like, here comes the hug from his dad. Yep. And he just wasn't there. But great
What's his dad's name? He's got like his dad is
Stefan.
Yeah.
Stefan Schauffele. He always wears like linen,
him and
like
his
Trent
dad.
Daddy,
That was
and
insane.
Yeah, that was weird. That was wild. It was great. It was actually good.
Hair thinning is complicated, and the problem is it's actually much bigger than your hair alone. Like your skin, hair is a reflection of your health, and internal factors can impact the way that your hair looks, feels, and grows. Nutrafol's whole body approach multi-targets underlying root causes like stress, hormone fluctuations, and nutrient gaps for visibly thicker, stronger hair. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, with over 1 million people seeing thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding. Nutrafol has multiple formulas that are tailored to give your hair what it needs to grow based on your biology, life stage, such as postpartum or menopause, and lifestyle factors such as plant-based lifestyles, carnivore, whatever you're going to be doing. With Nutrafol, building a hair growth routine is simple. Purchase online, no prescription or doctor's visits are required. Free shipping and automated deliveries ensure you'll never miss a day of using it, and you'll see results in 3 to 6 months. Take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the code FORE, F-O-R-E. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code FORE. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code FORE.
Quick shout out to Shane Lowry. He wanted that 61 really bad. I really wanted it for him. He was draining putts all day long, made it from everywhere. And I really thought he was going to can that last putt, and he just left it out, left a little bit. You could tell how much that would have meant to him. He was legitimately furious that he shot a 62. I wanted him to get the 61 so I could retweet the handshake video, and I just like Shane Lowry, but that hell of an effort out of him. That was incredible.
Yeah, I would have loved to see him win this week, just because ever since we shared that handshake at the RBC Heritage, it feels like once that went through my palms, I felt like I became brothers with the man. You know, like
he's a very warm presence. He's a very warm guy.
Yeah, dude. He also does a putting stroke where he's like his ankle bones are almost touching. That's how close his feet are, and he leans very behind the ball, and he just like putts it. I'm gonna try it. Like, I really like it.
I think it's super old school.
It's almost like when you're at mini golf or putt, and you're just like kind of like eyeing up the line, and you're just like, let's just knock this thing straight. I really like it.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's working for him. He was fucking raining those things in from everywhere.
Made so many putts.
Dude, that Saturday round, the amount of putts he made, even he was laughing during the follow up when they were going over him. He was like, "Oh man, these were really going in from everywhere." He was just making fucking bombs.
Are you guys a line up the ball putters, or do you guys just putt the ball? Trent, I don't know. What do you even have it? Do you have like a system?
No.
I'm not a line guy. I just putt the ball. I like to see nothing. So I like there to be nothing on the ball on the part that I'm looking at. So I don't like a line. I don't like necessarily the TaylorMade. I don't like even a logo. I like just like the white, clean part of the ball to be showing.
I line it up because I really the look, like on good greens, when you get the look of it rolling end over end, it just like it boosts my confidence. And they showed a lot of worm cams this week of those, and I felt like I think Bryson and Xander both line it up, and like those rolls were sexy.
The best and I think Shane was going end over end. It's an amazing look. They make it look so fucking easy when they use that line and it's end over end. I can't do it for long putts. I feel like I get way too obsessed with having it roll over end. That's why I kind of like the TaylorMade picks ball sometimes, where it's like I still get to focus on like starting it the way I want it, but I don't have to focus on one little line. But when I am like 3 or 4 feet in, I do like lining it up. I just forget to do it. Like I forget that I like it sometimes. And watching this PGA Championship reminded me, like, just line up those 3 or 4 foot straight putts. Like it's way easier to knock it in with a fucking line. You have the line on the spider. You got a line on the ball. Just fucking hit it that way. I'm gonna start doing that too. I learned a lot of things watching golf this weekend.
You got a whole new putter stroke. You got a whole new process.
Shane Lowry, by the way, with all those putts, you know what putter he was using? Spider. Even though he's not a TaylorMade guy, you know, he just that says something, doesn't it?
We sure like to see that, don't we? A couple of things. Reminder that the U.S. Open week scramble that we're doing is going on sale. It is the Battle in the Pines, 2-person scramble event at Mid Pines, 1 p.m. Tuesday, June 11th, 1 p.m. shotgun start. That is going on sale tomorrow, as this comes out, May 21st. So that's Tuesday at noon Eastern. So we've got the barstoolsports.com/events page. You're going to see it on there, barstoolsports.com/events. Go sign up for that. That's Tuesday of U.S. Open week, Mid Pines, right down the street. It's like 4 or 5 miles from Pinehurst. We're going to be out there 1 p.m. We're going to have a great time. We did it in Louisville last week. Had a great event. We're going to have a very similar experience there. So it's going to be awesome. So look out for that. Last thing I've got is this incredible stat from Justin Ray on the combined score to par by field in the PGA Championship history. The third lowest scoring, if you'll call it, ever was 2018 Bellerive. They were plus 59 combined field score to par, plus 59. 1995 Riviera, plus 40. 2024 Valhalla, minus 214.
I was gonna say, like the eye test, and I'm glad the stats back it up, because the eye test said that was the easiest major championship golf course I've ever seen by far. It was like any shot that was offline just stayed exactly where it was. Like and it was always fine. Like, and on the second hole, Xander hit a snap hook left. There's water left, and it was fine. He made par. It just like wasn't a difficult golf course. Not saying that's good or bad. It just was so easy.
Never seen more chip-ins in my life.
The rough was pretty ridiculous. Like Thursday and Friday, you're watching guys just having to and Tiger did it a lot. I know it's Tiger and he doesn't want to hurt himself, but you're in the rough. You got to just kind of chip it out. You have no chance of hitting towards the green. I know a lot of these, Tiger 20 years ago would have been ripping it through that stuff, but I think they did their best in terms of like trying to do that. I mean, I in terms of chip-ins, I don't know. I guess the greens just aren't undulated enough, right? There's way too many flat parts in the greens. These guys can just attack it. And the rain definitely did not help the course.
Soft. Yeah. It's just soft. There's only so much those, like, if there's no wind, which there was no wind, I feel like the entire week, and the greens are soft and they got rain, which they got rain, so the greens are going to be soft. Like, there's almost no course in the world that can protect itself against those guys. Like,
it's funny that you said that
a fucking mile.
It's funny you said that about wind. I like forgot that wind existed. You know what I mean? When you're like, when you have like 4 straight days of no wind, you're like, Oh yeah, like that. Yeah, like that. That's a thing that makes golf hard. It was not. There was
What
none
is
all
wind?
week.
You ever think about
Yeah.
that? Wind is fucking wild.
We've talked about that.
I
Yeah,
do think about
it's
that.
hard to get an answer.
It's a physical thing. You feel it, but you can't put your hands on it. You don't know what it is.
No,
No.
I don't get. Why wouldn't it
See
just be a
through,
constant
just air
thing?
pushing.
Why
random,
does it change? It's nuts.
Where does it start?
Right, like what is making it move like that? You know, what is that? It's
Right,
just-
you'll see a pile of leaves and it'll do the cyclone. You're like, what's going on over there?
That's
But why
that's
is
trippy,
the
man.
air doing? Like, what's making that happen?
I don't have a college degree. I can't answer these questions.
I do, and I'm not even
Oh.
close to answering those questions.
Dude, I had a funny. My dad had a funny dad text before. I said, I texted him. I said, "Hey, did you get home?" Because they were over here eating dinner and watching the PGA. I said, "Did you guys get home?" And an hour later, he wrote, "Yeah, LOL, about an hour ago." So I was like, "Well, I mean, I asked you an hour ago." So
Why is
Like-
he giving you attitude?
yeah, it was crazy. It was like he's acting like I asked him just now, and like it took. Hey, old man, you get home safe after an hour? He's like, "Yeah, I got home an hour ago. Flew home." I was like, "Yeah, I asked you 57 minutes ago." Oh God, that made me laugh.
My mom and dad called me today, and my dad just watches golf tournaments on his own time, not on social media, not any of that. I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm recording the golf, and I'm going to watch it tonight." And I was like,
That's-
"Fuck, man, that's unbelievable." Just like he's probably watching it right now. Xander's probably on the 7th hole right now, and he's like, "Wonder who's going to win this thing." Has
Yeah.
no idea.
Dude, that's incredible. My father-in-law does the same thing. I was about to text him, "Wow, Xander, like, love to see that." And Hannah was like, "You can't.
You
Like,
can't.
He has it. He stopped it. They ate dinner, and he's gonna resume watching it within the hour, and then he's gonna just pick it up on the 11th hole. So if you text, and he's on his phone, he's active, he's got Instagram and everything. He somehow figures it out. We always spoil it for him, and he's so nice about it. We spoil everything because we don't know that he's doing this. So he'll say, "Oh, like, I haven't gotten there yet, but nice one is that." You know what I mean? Like he'll be like, "I just haven't gotten there yet, but nice one, Xander."
I won't do that. So I've had it where I'll be watching a sporting event with my dad, and we'll have gone out to lunch or something, and it will have already started, like an Iowa women's basketball game. And we did this a couple times. The game will have started while we were at lunch. We'll get back, and I'm thinking, let's fire that thing up, and we're probably about 10 minutes into the first half. Nope, we started at the beginning, and I'm on Twitter constantly. So I know what the score is, and I have to pretend and react. Like, oh yeah, Caitlin Clark scored 40 in the first quarter. And I'm like, yeah, I knew that 25 minutes ago. But I don't say it because I just want them to enjoy it.
I'm in a first world problem situation. I play NHL with my buddy like almost every night, my buddy Andrew, and I have a 2 TV setup going on in the living room because I had to because there's too much going on. You need to have 2 TVs. You need to have 2 screens, whether it's a TV and iPad, TV and a phone propped up. You need to have it. So, and I'm on like cable, and then he's got the streaming, and I'll see everything. So on the second TV, I'll always have a game on, and he's always kind of streaming it on his laptop. And I've gotten to the point now where I have to just accept what I see and just stay silent.
Yep.
So like I'll have a big bet in on the DraftKings Sportsbook, and I'll have like the Dallas Stars to score and maybe win -1.5. And I watch the goal and I just sit there and I'm like, you know, I'm just like, because we're on the headset, we're playing all night, we're having a boys' night, like let's go. And he's just, I could hear it in the background, and they're like, and he enters his own, and I'm just waiting.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, Dallas." I'm like, "Yeah, saw it 10 minutes ago. Let's fucking go."
That's a good friend move.
You have to, because I've spoiled way too many things. This is more I've learned, you know, I've ruined a lot of sporting events for him and other people by doing this. You have to, it's like a skill. It's an art to be able to do that. And I'm not good at it.
Well, yeah, because I used to always say to my dad, like, let's just watch it live. And he wants to watch the whole game. And you know what? Who am I to stand in his way? Let's watch the whole game. So now when he does it, we watch the whole game, even if the game happened 4 hours ago.
I would love to go full streaming. I just don't know how people do it with how fast Twitter is and notifications are. Like, I love the Islanders
you have to
so
not check.
much.
You have to not check, which is really
So
hard.
how are people like surviving like this? Like, I love the Islanders so fucking much that if I see anything, like I'm gonna see it. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna look for it. I can't look away. So if I see a notification and I know it's an Islanders one, I'm gonna look at it. If it's 5 minutes delayed on the screen, you're gonna ruin the game for me every night.
Well, it's never 5 minutes because I've been full stream since I moved to New York City. And it's never a problem for me. It's
30
usually,
seconds, 45 seconds. It's a
no,
long
it's probably
time.
about 15. But I will say I am conscious of it, even in the back of my head. Like when Xander was lining up his last putt today, I was like, don't check Twitter
That's
until
crazy way
you
to
see
live.
it. But
Crazy.
but even then, it's probably 15 seconds, and I might not have seen it anyway. So it's not
right.
4 or 5 minutes like you're talking about. Like the only thing that gets in the way is if you're watching something and you're in a group chat, which I'm sure you're on a ton of hockey ones,
Oh,
where it's like bang bang and your buddies are going after it. Outside of that, you can kind of
overtime
avoid
game,
it.
you get 9 text messages,
Yeah,
and you're
that's a
like,
problem.
dude, when I was living in the city, that happened, and I almost threw the TV out the window and onto the street. Because it's like, I want to experience what you're experiencing, all these text messages and the excitement. I wanted to feel that naturally. I don't want to read your text. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's
crazy.
that's where it's tricky.
Yeah, the group texts are a problem. But
It actually used to work out for me. I haven't been live tweeting it as much, but The Bachelor, it would be 30 seconds past the big moment, and all of the original reaction tweets would have cleared the timeline, and then I'm the first one up in the second wave, and it gets a ton of action.
Oh, very nice.
It's a built-in delay. It was like the original electric chair in the Barstool office.
Yeah.
Glory days. All right, I gotta go. We're here at Gamble Sands. We got a big week full of Barstool Classics per usual. We got Gamble Sands tonight and tomorrow, and then we got we're in Colorado on Friday, which I think Frankie and Trent, you guys are both going to be there as well, right?
Yep.
I'm flying out to Colorado tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be playing a lot of golf out in Colorado, so I'm excited.
Are you playing with Taves and them?
I'm not. I didn't even think about that, actually. I should text them because now they are available. Unfortunately. But yeah, I'm playing Colorado Golf Club
I've played
Wednesday,
there.
which looks
Sick.
it looks phenomenal.
Big,
like, really sick.
big ballpark. Court Crenshaw. It's like 7,800
Yeah.
yards for the tips. Ball goes
I won't
forever.
be
You'll have a
playing
lot
from
of
there,
fun.
but
Yeah.
And then we're doing a break in 90. We're filming a break in 90 out there. Trent's flying out, and we're going to go out to Rain Dance National, where we're having the Barstool Classic. So we're doing a lot.
Yeah.
All right, boys. I'm going to take off. You guys keep going if you'd like, but I got to roll.
All
Yep.
right.
Sounds good, Riggsy. Go get him.
All right, boys. See you later.
He was really, you could feel the sense that he had to get out of here. It's just,
Yeah.
you got to let that go. You got to let that horse run.
You
You
got it.
got to open up that gate. You got to let that horse run. Yeah, no, I'm excited. Colorado, I actually was kind of grinding over a golf course. I think I said to you guys, like, I was going to maybe go out to the Sanctuary because we played the Avs out there. And I think they were having like some sort of invitational, like the owner of Remax like owns that thing. And they're like, oh, we got the Remax Invitational out here, something like that. They have a bunch of people playing. So I couldn't get out there, and I was kind of scrambling. And this is like the first time I've ever just opened up a DM and just said, I'm coming to play with you. And it's just some guy, you know, and it's like, he's like, I'm normal. He sent a picture of himself, like drinking a truly hard seltzer playing.
I would need like a
Golf Club.
10-second clip. I would need maybe 30 seconds. I would need like, one of the clips that people probably use to apply for like The Bachelor or Love Island. I would need that before I did.
Yeah. I'm excited. He seems like he looked like a pretty normal fucking guy. I didn't even ask for the clip. He's just like, here I am. you know why? Because his name was a funny name that I was like, are you the guy? Are you the psycho on Twitter? And he's like, nope, I'm just a normal guy from Nebraska. And yeah, it was funny.
People are more normal than we probably give them credit for. We've done the Black Friday.
Yes.
We pick 2 guys. We go play Colonial with them. Then we go to Borelli's. We haven't been murdered
Get
yet.
lucky though.
Is it luck or is it percentages where you got to think 98% of the world is normal?
Yeah, they are. Especially
2% are going to put you in their
Golf Club.
freezer, but 98% is pretty normal.
Well, the thing I thought was like, if you're belonging to Colorado Golf Club, it's like it's one of the most exclusive, like high end clubs in Colorado. You're going to be a pretty normal dude, I would assume. So
You've probably not drowned any kittens recently. No,
Right.
yeah, like I know exactly what you mean. I mean, this week, like I get a ton of hate on the internet, and then this week there was one person who said foreplay sucks, and that was the only negative thing the entire week. The guy was filming. He walked by me and he goes
to say to someone.
he was filming. He had his camera out and he's looking at me and he goes, foreplay sucks. And then I turn around and he goes, corrupt golf media, and just keeps walking. So I hope he got a sick video.
What a psycho.
Yeah, it was
The video
crazy.
sounds awesome.
Yeah, it
What
was
a
great.
lunatic. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. What are you getting Pops for Father's Day? Did you know that G4 is dropping a collection especially for him? Their Father's Day capsule has everything he could ever want for life on or off the golf course. I'm telling you right now, G4, when a daddy puts those things on, man, they've never felt a shoe like this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
these are not your dad's golf shoe. These are new age They came from space. Like you give them to your dad and like, what's this bubble inside? Like, I don't get it. Like, why do they feel so incredibly comfortable? But then they have that traditional look also. So whether he's traditional, modern, or just wants something fun for his new golf look, G4 has it all. There's also everyone's favorite classic golf shoe, the Gallivanter. It's timeless. It's classy. It's phenomenal how good that shoe is. It's available in spikeless and soft spike options because G4 accommodates pretty much everybody, especially your family. I'm telling you right now, make sure that you get your dad these shoes. They are going to make his life so much easier out on the golf course. Remember, you can get a discount when you visit g4.com/foreplay. That's GFORE.com/foreplay, and you're going to get 10% off your first order. So go to g4.com/foreplay, 10% off your first order. So I'm hitting the road tomorrow for like 3 weeks. We're doing Colorado, and we got a bunch of family out there, and we're going for a graduation. So I'm going to be Tuesday through next Wednesday. I'll be out in Colorado. I'm going to a Rockies game.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing a bunch of stuff.
Is Hannah coming with you?
Golf a bunch. Yeah. It's her cousin. Well, I guess it's my cousin now. I guess when you get married, it's like your official cousin,
do
right?
You take the cousins?
I don't know. Well,
No.
I mean, I would consider them cousins for sure. I love them. Like,
Cousin-in-law?
they're our closest friends in the family, but I don't. Are they my cousins now?
They're your
Yeah.
wife's cousins. I guess your cousin-in-law.
No,
I
I'm
don't know.
taking them. They're my cousins. I'm very excited. But yeah, we're doing that until Wednesday, and then I'm going to Chicago. We've got Putt Punk on next Friday in Chicago.
Yep.
I believe a couple tickets might still be on sale. It's one of those things where it's like we've already sold so many tickets. If there are any on sale and you're listening to this and maybe you want to come, go get the tickets now. I think they're super cheap. It's at Joe's on Weed.
Yeah.
It's going to be an amazing venue. We got the whole crew coming there. We got a bunch of special guests that are going to be coming out singing with us. A lot of the Barstool personalities are going to be there. The day of, like, that thing will sell out. It's like going, you're going to a sick bar, and we're going to be playing a bunch of 90s and 2000s pop punk rock. And then from there, we got pickleball on Saturday. We do have a wait list, but the thing about pickleball is it's at Pickle House. I think it's like an hour outside of the city of Chicago. It's basically sold out, but we have such a long wait list for different groupings. Like maybe like the men's 3.5 has 60 teams waiting for it, but we still need a couple teams for like the mixed doubles 4.5. So go to barstoolpickleball.com, check it out. We need women. No, we actually don't need women.
We have women. If you know any women, we have
women. We sold out the women one.
Oh, okay.
One. But the mixed doubles one, the mixed doubles highest, like 4.5 plus. There's like one team that we could still fill. So come play at the Barstool Pickleball Open. We're going to get that thing going. We've got a couple of really cool people playing in that one. JT Comfer, I believe, is playing in that. He's a Detroit Red Wings player. We played against him when he was in the Avs 4-man scramble at fucking Sanctuary. So that'll be a nice reunion. And and then from there we're going to do a foreplay trip. I think me and Trent are going on a little road trip. We're gonna hit some different spots, so that should be pretty fun. We're gonna do like a weird little completely different series. So I'm on the road until 3 Wednesdays from now. So
it's a lot of travel.
Just feeling the road beneath my feet, Yep. That's it. Anything in your guys' lives?
I'm just gonna go home, try and stay married, and go to a golf tournament in a couple of weeks.
You've been out there for a long time. When did you get out to Louisville?
I took a red eye on Sunday night, so I've been here for a little while. Louisville. It's been a good week. Content's been good. I feel like we're you guys are doing your thing. I'm doing my thing. It's all going well.
I got to go to the DMV this week. Nobody cares about that. Probably. I got to get a license.
Oh yeah.
I got to get a New York license.
Ugh.
Which is unfortunate.
So how have you been flying? You just have clear. It doesn't.
Airports don't care about expired licenses.
Wow.
Is what I have found. I don't know if that's a secret they want to keep in house, but when I turned 35 over 2 months ago, my license expired. So all the travel I've done in the last 2 months has been with an expired license.
Wow.
You just can't rent a car, which is a problem.
So bring your thing with you. Oh, you can't. I was thinking your passport, but that won't help you for a car.
I bring my passport everywhere just in case I get trouble at the airports, but nobody has. But you can't rent a car with a passport.
No, you can't.
So I'm going to become an official New York resident, which is weird, but that's it.
This will be your first ID non-Iowa.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wanted an Iowa license, but you have to really prove that you live there. And I called my folks and I was like, I'm going to send you a bunch of packages and I'm going to pretend that I live where you live so I can get an Iowa license? And they said no. So they said no.
Yeah.
They were like, just get a New York one. You're a New York resident. And I'm like, watch your mouth.
You could have actually evaded some taxes that way. You could have been like, I'm actually an Iowa guy. Look where all these packages are going.
So my folks were not on board at all.
Too many IRS fucking guys listen to this podcast.
I know. I hesitate to bring it up, but I'm going to get a New York one, so it doesn't matter.
Hey, you're fine.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited to rip this fucking road trip.
Yeah.
Go. Just fucking fly, man. We're just going to be going. It's a lot, you know? It's a lot flying all over the place, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm excited to play golf, though. I'm like itching to play.
Well, you're playing incredibly.
We've got a couple of videos coming out. I know on the Foreplay Plus channel, it's where this podcast is going to be, the Podcast Plus, the chain at Streamsong. We've got a knockout video with Trotte. That's like a little extra video in case you want to watch it. That's dropping today as you're listening to this. And then Wednesday, the Fat Perez Mulligan shots. That video is coming out on Wednesday with Bob Does Sports. We ripped a bunch of Fireball cinnamon whiskeys to unlock Fat Perez. It was me and Trent versus Bob and Cold Cuts. That's coming out Wednesday. Make sure you keep an eye out for that. That's probably our best video that we've had as a collaboration with those guys. That wasn't like the 4-man scrambles. I mean, this was we got really sauced on this one. I mean, you had to take a shot to have Fat Perez hit a mulligan. So if you had 9 potential shots, you're taking 9 shots of Fireball cinnamon whiskey.
Well,
it's also was an extension of the first video. We filmed them back to back. Correct. And in the first video, we drank a bunch. And the second one, we drank a bunch too.
I remember when I played my match against him, we did 9 holes on our channel, 9 holes on their channel. We probably drank about 9 throughout the day. And I was shit-faced and he was so fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of how it goes.
I was shit-faced.
It does. Yeah. Actually, Fat Perez, I don't think even took one in this because he was just the guy hitting the shot. So he was even more dialed because he was just like sober hitting shots, like on sticks. It was incredible. That's it. I got nothing fucking else, fellas. I'm going to go back to watching Amadeus. Great flick.
I got one before I go, one recommendation, the Asunta case on Netflix. You guys, everyone listening should watch it. It's fucking awesome. It's a murder case. It's a murder mystery in Spain. Subtitles, so if that turns you off, I'm sorry, but it's probably the best miniseries I've watched in a really long time.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
The Asunta case.
The Asunta case. Check it out.
Love it. I think that's it. Thank you to everyone for listening. Shout out to Xander Schauffele. Is it Schauffele or Schauffele?
I'm not sure. I think it's Schauffele is what they say, right?
Shout out to Xander. Long time coming, man. Just really happy to see that guy up top. And I think he's going to be here to stay. He's definitely going to be in the mix as he always has been. And now you get this monkey off your back. Who knows? Xander could go on a run here. So amazing stuff. I guess that's it. Hit it hard.
All right.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.